Hey Harry Movie Club! So this week's theme continues throughout the month of March, which is Mr. Harry Brit's childhood movies. And I have to say this was also one of those movies that I watched all the time as a kid. The other two movies so far this month, both The Neverending Story and Labyrinth, I did not watch as a child, so I couldn't necessarily relate. But this movie I watched all the time. It was one of my favorite movies. It was kind of nice to go back as an adult and watch it because I had totally forgotten about all the pre-story that goes into explaining why Peter goes to Neverland in the first place. I had no idea, or I did not even recall, that Maggie Smith was in this movie, Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, and then of course we have Robin Williams as Peter Pan. Which for me was kind of weird. I don't necessarily see Robin Williams as Peter Pan, but in some senses it works because you're trying to see Peter Pan as an adult and kind of him forgetting where he came from and who he used to be. One of the other really good actors in this movie is Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook. Now, again, I did not even realize as a kid that that actor was who played Captain Hook. They have him so well disguised in his costume with the, curly mustache and the wig, the whole getup. You just don't, even his eyebrows are curly. I thought some of the best lines in the movie came from his character. One of the lines that he said was, "Is it you? It can't be. My great and worthy opponent? Not this pitiful, spineless, pasty, bloated codfish I see before me." One of the other really good lines that I liked was the same time frame in the movie when Peter is first in Neverland on the boat having the interaction with Captain Hook. Captain Hook ropes his children up into like a rope trap of sorts, and basically tells him that he can get his children back. All he has to do is fly up and touch their fingers that are outstretched from the net. Being that Peter does not realize that he is indeed, or was, Peter Pan, and cannot fly at this point in time in the movie, he climbs up, or is attempting to climb the mast, so that he can sort of reach out to them. And he asks, "Can someone give me a hand?" And then Captain Hook says, "I've already given you one," because of its hook. One of my favorite scenes in this movie as a kid was the initial scene when Peter first comes to where the Lost Boys live, and Rufio's entry. I just thought that was like the best entry anyone could have ever. He comes on this little like skateboard thing with the sail, and everybody's chanting his name, Rufio! And I just thought it was the best thing ever. So the music in this movie is done by John Williams, and he is an excellent composer and did the music in this movie very well. I really liked the music in this movie. I looked up this movie online just to see who the composer was, because to me it sounded like John Williams, so I just kind of wanted to confirm it. And I looked and noticed that the ratings on this movie from my critics was really low, and I was kind of surprised. From what I read, it looks like the critics were kind of hard on the storyline, and they felt like there was a little bit too much going on. And I guess there was maybe to a certain extent, but as a kid, I didn't really care, and I didn't necessarily read into like all the different aspects of the storyline that were there, because it does branch off in quite a few different areas. We have sort of the weird moment with Captain Hook like trying to commit suicide, and like he talks as if he's attempted to do this multiple times before, and you kind of wonder like, well, why? That's sort of weird. You have the interaction between Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, where Tinkerbell is basically in love with Peter Pan, and I don't know if that's actually part of the story or if they just kind of added that in to a certain extent, but I felt like that didn't necessarily work. I didn't particularly like that part of the movie. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it as a kid. I still liked it now. It was really fun to go back and watch it again because it had been a while. And there was a lot of stuff that I had actually forgotten about. So I would definitely recommend this movie to anyone who has not seen it before. And yeah, I think that's all I have for right now. I'm sure you guys noticed a different background. I am here in Hawaii this week. There's chickens, wild chickens that roam around here. Just all over the place, like squirrels. And they hang out in the trees. It was really weird. I went down to the beach this evening and the chickens were getting in the trees.
I know.
Yeah. Anyhow. So that's all for me for this week, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!